How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. I am the Iceman, and today I'm going to talk about the Resident Evil 2 remake. A little while back, Capcom had made a video and announced that it was in the process and development of being remade. Resident Evil 2 a full-on, just like I got the remade footage of Resident Evil 1 right here, which, by the way, was flat out one of the best Resident Evils of shit all time. Besides the original. Now, do you think the remake will be good? And I personally think it will be good. I mean, throughout the years, you've seen Resident Evil try to like maybe find its face, but then again, why fix what's not broken? With the series, is it surprising that the first three Resident Evils are easily the best? Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 2, and Resident Evil 3. And it's almost a hard decision choosing. Now, I know Resident Evil over time took a weird toll with how the game has changed and how it's evolved and what it's become. Hell, nowadays, Resident Evil seems like an action thriller you'd watch on TNT Network. It almost loses that survival feeling, that alone here, I need to scavenge ammo, and I need to make sure I ration my herbs and watch my corners on the hallways with these pre-cams, before they got to the back. Though I will say Resident Evil 4, I feel, was the last good Resident Evil, because Resident Evil 4 took that turn. They tried out that new formula. Capcom took that front, and they went ahead and did what they thought was best with the behind the back, over the shoulder view, which I personally agree with, and I think it actually worked out really good in the favor of the Resident Evil series. Though I do like the classic pre-rendered angles and cameras, that was what maybe made Resident Evil what it was. That was also very similar in Silent Hill and other games like Clock Tower, another game that was from Capcom, which was a damn good game. Oh, we got a zombie coming out the closet. But I wasn't happy with where Resident Evil had went over the time. Maybe it's because I fell out of the loop. I'm a big fan of the series. I've been playing it since PS1. That was actually the first PS1 game I'd ever actually played, was Resident Evil 1. We're playing it at my cousin's house years back. And I was like, what the fuck? What is this? I'm just a kid. I had Sega Genesis, and but I was also a lot younger, so I was happy with what it was and just what we played. I grew up on Mortal Kombat on Sega Genesis. But I personally think this Resident Evil 2 remake is in good hands with Capcom and the people that are really going to take charge and control of the development and the project. And I don't think they would fuck up something like that, because then I feel that the Resident Evil series has been slacking maybe so much over time. Now you got this multiplayer Spec Ops shit where you're playing as fucking Umbrella members or soldiers and shit, foot soldiers and shit. That's like, what the hell happened to this series? You know what I'm saying? But I mean, can you try to revive an old series with something new and try to... You get these new people coming to Capcom 15, 20 years later, like, oh, I think I might know what this game needs. Let's add our little twing to our little taste and turn the series over and turn over a new leaf and see if we can't better it. But really, in return, it's done nothing but affect it. One thing I didn't like about Resident Evil 5, probably the biggest thing I had not liked about it, was the second player, the addition of the second fucking player. It just took that feeling of the lonesome and that feeling of survival, like I'm on my own, and not with machine guns and explosions everywhere. Resident Evil was that mysterious Twilight Zone, what's going on in his deep dark mansion, but now it's got to a point like, Allah, running down the fucking street from fucking 20 barbarians chasing you, running full sprint like Michael Johnson, you know what I'm saying? And then, though I can't really say, I really can't say that they're not good. I haven't played them all. I've played, Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil 1, and, 2, 3, and 4. I have played 5. I didn't beat it. I have played 6, the demo of it, and didn't play it, though. Something about it didn't attract me. Where Resident Evil had went over time, it just didn't attract me. It didn't attract the nostalgia, what we grew up on Resident Evil was. And then you get maybe some people who haven't played Resident Evil up until number 5 and 6, were with these remakes right here, like Resident Evil 1, and Resident Evil 2 about to be coming out, like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, what the fuck's up with these crazy camera angles and these controls? Like, this is fucking lame. What the hell is it? You know, like, but don't really know the roots of the series. That really what makes it great, you know. And then obviously we can only hope that they'll be doing it with a Resident Evil 3, which I think that's definitely for sure in the package. I mean, look how good they did with the remake of Resident Evil 1. Lisa wasn't even in the original. There's so much added stuff, so much added, but at the same time they kept it basic and they kept it simple and they kept it to the Resident Evil we all knew and loved and grew up with, and it did nothing but make it better and better this in general. Look at it. It was everything that we wanted with a remake and everything you should want with a remake of a game like Resident Evil. You know, some games they might take that turn and but really just might fuck it up in the end. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like a risk, like, oh shit, how's this remake gonna look? You know, it gets you nervous, gets you wondering. But I definitely feel Resident Evil 2 is in good hands, and I think we can expect a remake just as good, if not better, than Resident Evil 1, because Resident Evil 2 is obviously one of the best Resident Evil games ever made, probably the best. You know, I was a real big fan of number 3. I had always dug the Nemesis and his style and how he would chase you throughout the map and stars, you know, all throughout the game, and I really liked that. Oh my god, I can't forget that water puzzle in the end. That shit was so hard. Oh my god, but I think it's definitely in good hands, and I think we're definitely going to get a release we all know, need, and we deserve, and we really expect from Capcom to revive the name and come back and bring it the series that, you know, that we all know and loved, because it seems like anything else is all out the window. You know, you got Silent Hill, we haven't really heard shit from. Shit was canceled. These series were starting to fade, but now maybe the developers are kind of bringing them back, so it kind of breathes fresh new life into these old souls, you know. And hell, this is easily one of the best games ever, one of the best remakes of all time. It had to come back a second time after GameCube. Shit, I remember the days of playing this all the time, you know. And we can only hope, and I think for a fact that we will get a Resident Evil 3 remake. And you can only know what that means. That's just going to be, it's going to be a heaven, it's going to be a good collection. But then, you know, now we got Resident Evil 0, we got Resident Evil 1. You know, but Resident Evil 0 was a standalone, like, that really wasn't a remake of anything, it just was a prequel, which I'm not going to lie, Resident Evil 0 was, in my opinion, not one of my favorites. I mean, there was maybe with the second player thing I dug. I got about halfway through it. I got it on the PS4, which I could have the footage. I might do it for the next video. But I want to know your thoughts on what you think the series is going to go and if the game will turn out good, because I definitely got high hopes for it. And I look forward to fucking playing it and hearing more about it. Thank you, everybody. I am the Iceman, and it has been good. Keep in touch and subscribe. Peace out. With all the stuff they had added to Resident Evil 1, I can only imagine the extra shit they'll add to the remake of Resident Evil 2, but I don't believe they'll scathe the look of it and the feel of it that we all might know and remember. Shit, it's gonna be twice as scary. Remember the alligator in the tunnel? Man, that's just gonna be sick. Mr. X. I definitely think there's gonna be all sorts of probably cool new shit added, and I can only even imagine. Could you guys imagine? What do you think? There's probably gonna be, on top of Mr. X, there'll probably be a new, I wouldn't be surprised if they just add a whole new section to the police station and other shit where you can go like in between areas, and I can only hope they will do this with number 3, and I definitely believe it's in good hands, because I don't think I was liking the image Resident Evil was having in the latter years of their series. It was losing its vibe and losing the Resident Evil look and the feel and what we had loved for the series for years. And I didn't like how they were treating it bad, like some fucking hooker on Dort Highway, you know what I'm saying, and giving it a bad fucking image. I don't need to see steroid fucking junkie Chris fucking shooting shit up with RPGs, blowing away fucking army soldiers and blowing up tanks and shit. Like, I mean, it's gonna draw out there, but stick to the basics, stick to the roots, stick to what everybody had loved about the series, and keep it fucking real, and don't fuck around. But I don't believe that, and I don't got no hate towards Capcom, and then, of course I've been playing their games for years. I definitely think they're gonna do this fucking right and do it good. Now I want to hear your guys' thoughts.